Okay, here are the targets for the Hensoldt torture test. I re-zeroed the scope on the rifle with a new set of rings, and I took the suppressor off because I'm not going to bang it around. So I walked it into where I wanted it. It's a little bit down there at 6 o'clock, but that's fine because we're going to do some little bit of torture testing to it. So we'll see how it holds up. There's the set of targets we'll use, some shoot and sees on our IPSC targets. Okay, we're up on the new rifles only shooting deck, which is now located next to our carbine pit. Got a nice little 100-yard shooting deck, which is a pretty good size out here. Anyway, we put the Hensoldt in a new set of rings, and we're going to play with it that way. We got these crossbone rings we're going to work with. As well, there was a lot of call for some type of torture test for the scope. So that's exactly what we're going to do. We just finished re-zeroing it. Wasn't off too bad, moving it from one set of rings to the other. We just fine-tuned it a bit. And next we're going to see what we can do as far as the torture test goes. So stand by. Alright, we're going to do a drop test with the scope here. Not to say that we wouldn't do something to the scope I wouldn't do to my own rifle. I'm going to do about a 3-meter drop test from on top of the kill house. Alright, here's the Harbinger with the Hensoldt on it. Right now I'm going to drop it. It's going to be pretty much as much a test for the rings as it is for the scope. But if anything, I'm going to try to drop it on the scope. So we'll see what happens there. But we're going to drop it. Right about here. Ought to be good. There's that. As you can see, it took a dive. Spilled out onto the ground. Well, the first shot went at 1 o'clock, pretty high out of there, probably about 3 inches out. The rest of them dropped right in. Now, I don't know if that's the rifle or the rings or something to that effect, but it seemed to suck in after that first shot. I did get dirt in the bore, and I threw a bore snake through it because there was a bunch of sand. So I'm wondering if it had to knock out some additional sand, and then it kind of went back to where it wanted to. But overall, it's sort of holding where it should. We'll see what happens when we shoot it some more. Alright, next we're going to take the scope off the rings and we're going to move it off the rings. These are actually kind of loose, so that other stuff might have been Mine have been the rings that loosened up and not so much the scope, because they didn't seem like they were torqued down all the way. But that's fine, we'll do it again. So, next one is to drop the scope by itself. Alright, here we got the Hensoldt. It's in its rings, it's sitting by itself. We're going to drop it. It's about 3 meters or so. It's roughly 10 feet to the top there. So here we go, dropping the scope. There's one. Alright, we're going to put these back on. Torque wrench. This time we'll torque them down and see how it goes. Alright. Scope got some shit on it. Give it a shot. Alright, it seems like it has a small settling in period. Nothing too crazy. But it came right back in, not too bad, after being dropped and thrown. I'd say it worked out pretty well. So, can't complain.